I'm just arriving to visit one of my favorite couples, favorite families in the entire world. I'm so excited to introduce this family to you guys as a brand new episode of Free Human. You're going to be blown away by the type of lifestyle that this family has and the way that they've curated it. It's just magic. So stick around to find out more.
Welcome to another episode of Free Human, starring my buddy Shanky. Most people think adventure ends when you start a family. Not for the adventurous Aaron. He spent decades traveling the world, climbing mountains, surfing empty beaches, and saying yes to almost every adventure life has offered him. Today, with his partner, he's raising twin girls on an off-grid property he built with his own hands, proving you don't have to choose between freedom and family. This isn't just a story about off-grid living, it's about building a life you don't have to wait to live.
What does freedom mean to you?
Having the constant opportunity to express who I truly am. Yeah, without limitations, without holding back, without having to be someone I'm not, and being able to do the things that I want to do.
How would you usually describe your life to someone you just met?
Different. I think anything you practice, you get good at. I've practiced over the years just doing the things that I want to do. Yeah, I started when I was younger. I started traveling and started backpacking the world, and that continued on to backpacking the world. So I filled 2 passports, and I think when you travel, you open your eyes to so many different ways of living that it opens yourself up to so many different endless possibilities apart from like what you just think is the norm. Yeah, I think I've just gotten used to knowing that it's all okay. To some level, that whatever I feel like doing or want to do or want to create, that I know that there's a way. I think that's what traveling does. It opens up your mind too, because you travel around the world and you just see so many different ways. You know, and everyone is doing a way, and if they're happy, they're happy.
So how do you usually describe yourself to someone you just met?
I would describe myself that I'm super open to just giving things a go and trying things out without judgment. This is the start of the property. So 1,600 acres out here, 78 lots. It's a set 15 under council, and it's quite big. I reckon there's 120 people live out here. That can be cut, that's all we need. The whole house it's either built from the land or it's recycled materials. Obviously you do use some new stuff like cladding and everything, but all the cladding secondhand, every window and door in the house is secondhand.
What about bills and having to pay bills and being worried that money might run out? How does that influence you actually going for certain jobs?
No, because I live off grid. It doesn't. I was just like, I had to really think about that for a second, like, hang on a second. I have a skill from climbing and adventuring and doing trees when I was younger, that I can climb trees and cut them down for people and lower limbs over people's houses and do stuff like that. So I do a little bit of that when I feel like doing that. That's the thing. A lot of times I don't feel like doing it, and then every so often I'm like, you know what, I feel like doing some trees because I like working outside, so I do that. I do some maintenance on a power station up in Queensland once a year. It's six to 8 weeks work as a rigger, which coincides with mountaineering and tree climbing. It's the same kind of skill set, rigging. And I like that. I enjoy it. We go up and we play on the Keppel Islands. We have great fun with some mates of mine, and we have a great time, and I love doing that. And then I do some media work. So kind of like now in front of the camera, do some content work sometimes. This is the house. It's built pretty much from the backyard. So it's been through like so many different stages. So when I was saying in COVID, when I started building a cabin, this used to be my garage. These poles here was like the actual wall of the house, and I had a little garage door in between here, and there was a wall here. And this kitchen, originally I just ripped out of a house that was being renovated in Kempsey. So I met a guy at the tip who was throwing doors out, and I needed a table for my sawhorse, and I asked him if I could have a door when he was throwing it in the garbage, and I said to him, what else are you throwing out? He said, oh, renovating a whole house. I said, so can I have your kitchen? And he's like, yeah, no worries. So everything in the house, every window, every door is recycled, all the timbers from the land. So you can see all the exposed beams, the natural poles holding the place up. That front door before the extension of having a family used to be here, and so this was just this tiny little cabin that I lived in for so long. Yeah, so when I first came here, the place was pretty raw. So the old people lived in a teepee, literally like right here, and there are these huge gum trees right here. You can still see the remnants of one here. Now there's a theory behind this. Those arms that kind of go up, that's going to be a tree house. There's a spiral staircase, which is that pallet over there. But I've left this one tree up to do an adult tree house in, because I reckon I can build a cabin up there. But this is what we had. We had these huge gums towering over what this was going to be a structure, a dwelling that was just black butts, just drop limbs like that. So they're pretty unsafe. So that's what I could build the house out of.
What mindset trait do you think differentiates you from others?
Allowing myself to be me. I'm unsure if I'm wired this way or if I'm ADD. Or like if there's a label on me or I'm just me. But at school, the teachers always struggled to get me to focus on things that I didn't want to do. I remember saying to my mum, but Mum, I just don't want to do it. I don't enjoy doing it. I don't understand why I have to do something I don't enjoy doing. And I remember in high school, I got really bad grades because I was surfing too much. And my parents said to me, all right, you're not going surfing before school or after school until you can surf on weekends only until your grades improve. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll focus. So I went to school and just got a whole heap of A's. And I was like, yeah, see there, now can I go do what I want now? And so the thing is, I think with me from a young age, I just never understood. And I think that's been the luckiest, I don't know if it was a realization or I'm just wired that way, but I think it's the luckiest realization or whatever that's in me, that from an early age I was like, why can't we just do things that we want to do? Like from my actual being. And then I think I went through what everyone else goes through, the trying to fit in and the collective consciousness and the conditioning that we're around. And then once you go traveling, that just all goes out the window. I kind of started with a swag. I lived in a swag, then I lived in my troopy here. And then I ended up with this like big 2-bedroom canvas tent. And I lived in that, and then I went overseas because I was constantly traveling around the world. And then COVID hit and I got stuck. It's a whole nother story, but I got stuck overseas. And when I got home with no money, no dwelling, and I just had a canvas tent that had a black butt limb gone straight through the roof of it. So it was filled up with water, molded, and had nothing to live. And that's when I started building the house. So all the water around here, everything feeds something, so nothing's wasted. But this here, yeah, this is, these are just offcuts from when we were milling the timber. And you come in, this is the, so this is our shower. This is our outdoor shower. And it's so nice when this is the girls' bathtub. Ginny, is this the shower? Yeah, and where's your bath? That's your bath? When we have a bath? Do we put this down and have a bath? Ooh, that's where the girls have their bath. I don't know if she'll want to see the toilet, but obviously being completely off grid, composting toilet, which is everyone's worst nightmare, but it's actually not bad. It's better than a bin or a bucket. That's how we feed our fruit trees. So yeah, this, when it was the little cabin, was my bedroom. This bed was never here. Up here was actually my bed. And this was the remnants of actually the family that lived here. So the structure that was kind of built was this double-story part with the poles with no cladding on it. There was no front out here, no balcony. It was just left open to the elements. And I think they tarped it. And this was their daughter's bed, and it came out to here, and this was out here. So when I built this into a cabin, this was my bed. And yeah, I spent 5 years as this is my bedroom. And then we built this, obviously this balcony off it. But you can see, yeah, all the timber. And so all this timber that's built the whole house, I milled it all in a day and a half. Everything for the shed, the house, the carport. I hired a mill. I think it cost me $800 one day, $600 the next. So I had the timber, and that was including all the transport and everything, so it cost me $1,400 for the timber for this whole house. What was interesting is that we needed some longer and straighter sticks for the capping plates, and I had Bunnings deliver a pile of pine. It cost me $2.5 grand, and I had the backyard was filled with all milled hardwood timber, and then we had this one little pile of timber from Bunnings that was worth 3 times the price. Yeah, it's just everything is so easy to pick up. Like even these doors, pretty much people just throw stuff out, and all it takes is like a light sand or just ripping something down and you can make it work. Whole property, sheds, solar, everything. I don't think I've spent more than 100 grand.
What do you say to people that think off-gridders are dirty hippies?
It is. It's raw. It's fingers. It's fingers in the dirt. It's real. It's connected. You're connected. I had a stint of being a vegan for 6 months, until one day I was growing my trees and stuff in the backyard, and I started realizing how intelligent they are. And I was like, oh my God, watch all this stuff grow. I think I've planted, I don't know, over 100 fruit trees, but most of these, especially along here, like Davidson plum and acerola cherry, and there's dragon fruit there and Brazilian cherry, they're all high antioxidant stuff. So it's what tripped me out is when we were learning permaculture to do this kind of thing, we learned about shelf life. And in Australia, we can grow so much food, but what we eat at the supermarkets is only what lasts on a shelf. These are all guavas under here, and this is our little veggie garden. So right now, we've been traveling a lot, so the veggie garden's just been kind of sitting dormant. But when Shelby was pregnant, we pretty much we had a cow butchered up in the, so we had a cow in the freezer, and this whole garden was pumping. So pretty much we lived primarily off this garden. So this garden's like a site, it can easily fit a family of 4. Now the thing about gardening is that it's not a lot of work, but it's constant. So as in like 20 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day, you're kind of sweet. But as soon as you walk away for a couple of weeks, it's kind of done. But yeah, this size here. So right now we've kind of got hardly anything. I've just put some crops down in here. Obviously a bandicoot's getting in. So this is the struggle with living out here with so many animals and so many natives, is that you're constantly fighting them. So you cover stuff up, and then you got the bowerbirds, you got the possums, you got the wallabies. The wallabies jump the fence sometimes. I brought these out at the front of the property to try find Jojo. He lives out here now, so I had a kangaroo that I raised. So part of living out here is that we're constantly raising, saving animals. And Jojo, lost his mum. He was dying. He was a tiny little, scrawny little Joey kangaroo. So Jojo spent a year living in my bed. He went on road trips with me, went down the beach with me. He lived in the troopy with me for a bit. I just took him everywhere because the thing was he needed a mum. But like most animals around here, it's like you want to rescue the animals on the land and keep them on the land. Every animal that's gone off the land has just died, mainly from stress. So we have the opportunity here to save the animals around here. Anyway, Jojo, he just lives as a normal kangaroo. He won't even let me pat him. The ungrateful, ungrateful little shit. No, he won't even let me pat him now. He's just a normal kangaroo, hopping along, living his life. Yeah, we couldn't find Jojo, but my neighbours here have just raised a kangaroo named Ribby, so we can go meet it. So this is Shenny and Adam have raised this one. They also raised Jojo for a bit, and I raised Jojo.
It's like having a newborn.
This is like the weirdest family portrait.
How do your friends and family or people closest to you feel about the way you live?
I think they're used to it now. Mum's always been super supportive. Like with whatever I wanted to do, I'm gonna go travel the world, sweet. Go for it. That's what you want. So I've been super lucky like that. When it comes to mates and extended friends, I'd say extended friends being the worst. That pretty much everything that I've ever done has been a hard, you're an idiot, push forward to me, or what are you doing? You're making a bad decision. And my thing's always been, but I only get one life and I want to do it now. When I bought this place, a mate of mine was like, he like really tried to convince me not to do it. He's like, you can buy here and this place is gonna, like get a mortgage, buy here and it's gonna go up so much. And then in 15 years, Then you can live on the land and be connected then. And I was like, but I want to do it now. I was like, I want to do it while I'm young and able. You know, I want to have experiences while I'm young and able. I don't want to spend all my time building for something then which may or may not happen in the future. Like, I don't want to retire and then go, okay, now I'm allowed to travel. And then my knees be giving way and not being able to climb the mountain I want to climb, or do the hike I want to climb, or I don't know, have the experiences that I want to experience. I want to have them now when I want to have them. So yeah, I think everyone in life have told me at some stage I'm an idiot, but they're the same people that are the most inspired by me and tell me that once I've pulled it off, that they're jealous.
What sacrifices did you have to make in order to live this life?
I don't feel I had to make any sacrifices. Like, I was just thinking, living a bit away from family, but I've got so much family and friends around here. It's like, yeah, it's like a 4-hour drive to my mum's and my sister's place, but we do it all the time. It's actually not a problem. And the pros to living down here, because I don't want to live there. I want to live down here. I just don't, what have I had to sacrifice? Thinking about super and investments, but I don't even have to sacrifice that. If I wanted to, you can live off grid with heaps of money. So that's just my own story of not wanting to make money. So I don't know, sacrifices. I was going to say a shopping centre not near, but it's 20 minutes away and we'd get Woolworths delivered. I don't know. Sacrifice I've had to make is I don't have to surf in crowds. I just had to sacrifice that I don't like surfing with a lot of very crowded people. So I sacrificed that. Now the hard thing about the girls growing up around here is they can just walk around and just eat off trees. And then we go into town and they think they can do it off any tree. And so often you find like berries or things you don't want them to eat in their hands because like that's the luxury they have out here. So everything, I just walk around eating.
Tell me about Shelby.
Shelby's a powerhouse. She didn't grow up like this. Okay, you want diversity if you want the opposite end of the coin. So I didn't grow up like this either, but I grew up closer to this. I grew up as a surfer, in nature, going to the beach. Shelby grew up Northern California, dad a dentist, super nice house, you know what I mean? Very, I'd say, bougie way. I think she followed also what was true to her.
Changing directions a little, tell me about the girls.
They're the loves of my life. The girls, they're their own twins, Indigo and Juniper. Indigo's named after my sister that passed away because she always called me an indigo child. She always told me I was here to spread light and love to the world. I thought, what a name to give to someone. You're here to spread light and love. And so Indigo was named in the womb. She was twin A, we named her Indigo. And she came out, she was the first to come out, and she came out with these universal blue eyes and silver hair, like just an indigo child, and her whole personality is just light and love. Juniper, we named her in the womb. There's Juniper strength and resilience, the juniper berry, the juniper tree, grows like just tough and hardy, resilient. We thought, what a name, what a powerful name to give to a being. You know, because I wanted to give them intention. I wanted to tell them they're here for their experience of their being, and they're here not just for themselves, but for everyone else. Like they're here for light and love, to spread that in the world and strength and resilience. So, and Juniper came out, she came out second and had quite a traumatic birth because Shelby was hemorrhaging, and it was just, she came out screaming and stayed screaming for like 2 months. And then now she's just so happy and strong and resilient, and she gets so nailed. She falls over so much and screams and gets back up and goes for it. And she's just, they're complete opposites. Juniper feels it in the heart. You tell her, no, don't do that. Daddy doesn't want you to do that. She feels it. It goes straight to the heart. The tears come out. Oh, I'm so sorry. You say to Indigo, hey, don't do that. Daddy doesn't want you to do that. And she goes, got you, Daddy. Like, you know what I mean? Light and love, just two complete opposite beings. And it's just such the realization, just like I chose my parents, they chose to come here and be with us. So I've got a responsibility there to show them the way. My whole point is that I just want to show them that they can live their life for them and not get caught up in the story.
Is it possible to be free with a family?
Yeah. Traveling the world, I saw it everywhere in the world. Everywhere. And there was no limitations. I was in Panama and there was a family, it was an Irish dad, American mum. They had given birth on the road. They had a 9-year-old boy, a 4-year-old boy, and a newborn that they gave birth on the road, and they had been going for like a year and a half walking from America. And they were in Panama, they were in a tent, camping, hitchhiking, fishing. The dad would get up in the morning and go down the beach and fish for food, and then they would cook it on the fire with the older son. And I was sitting there like, how are you doing this? And she gave birth on the road. It's just like, it's always possible. Let's go for a surf. Okay. Girls are gone, so let's go to the beach.
Was that on purpose? Okay, great. Are you sure about that?
Growing up on the Gold Coast had a very strong culture, a very strong collective consciousness that was quite hard to break. Like living off grid and like being on an empty beach just by yourself and wanting to, it isn't really what everyone was doing. Sure, some people were doing it, but pretty much when I look back, I don't think I had much depth. I didn't question much. But yeah, like Gold Coast was great to grow up, but it was nothing like the life I chose now. And I can't even be there now. Like I love it, it's beautiful. I can't handle traffic lights because it's telling me I can't go. It's stopping my flow.
What are the biggest challenges you've had to overcome in your life?
Listening to that inner voice and not other people's. And when I mean inner voice, the intuition, I don't mean fear, because the voice of fear is way different. The voice of fear is, oh no, you can't make it work. Oh no, it's not going to work out. And it's like, it's not going to work out if you believe that.
What is the hardest part of living like this that people might not see from the outside?
Changing a compost toilet. It is. It is, because it gets heavy and I've got to pull it out from underneath.
Do you think you're a free human?
I think it's something that I strive to be. I think I'm as free as that I just allow myself to be.
If someone feels trapped or stuck in their life, what advice would you give them?
Why are you choosing to be trapped and stuck in your life? And if they feel from maybe it's a relationship, you're a free being. You can still love that person and walk away from them. You can do it with love and you can still support that person on their journey in life, but you're here with a path that you're put here to do. The being that you are, to walk the path that you're put here for. If you're stuck in your job, you're the free being, you can get another job. If you feel stuck because you are in debt, maybe because of you can downsize, you can change things, you can change the things that you're doing. It's like, it's not really hard. It's just, you're actually, I'd say to that person, well, why are you choosing to be stuck?
Any other questions you wish someone asked you?
I wish someone asked me when I was younger, what is it that you really want to do and be? As in experience. Not as in like job or career, as in like what life do you truly want to live and go do it. I think that would have just been more efficient for me if someone just said that to me straight up. But I've had to kind of learn it over the years. Yeah, so I say to young people, and that's why I do the podcast. The podcast is my gift back to the world of helping inspire other people to live the life they came here to live. Because all it is storytelling is literally just someone going out and having an experience and coming back and saying, hey, it's safe, it's okay. I did it and I'm here and I'm alive and I'm happy. You're not gonna die.
Thank you so much for watching, but now I really want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Squarespace is a magnificent tool for business owners and artists like myself to create a beautiful online presence that actually gets results. There is Design Intelligence. Introducing Design Intelligence from Squarespace, combining 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology to unlock your strongest creative potential. Design Intelligence empowers anyone to build a beautiful, more personalized website tailored to their unique needs and craft a bespoke digital identity to use across one's entire online presence. Squarespace Payments. Squarespace Payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place. With Squarespace, onboarding is fast and simple. Get started with just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Plus, give your customers more ways to pay with popular methods like these ones. There's a lot. Sell content. Squarespace makes it easy to sell access to content on your website like online courses, blogs, videos, and memberships, and recurring revenue by gating your content behind a paywall. Simply set the price and choose whether to charge a one-time fee or a subscription for access. And these are just some of the amazing features of Squarespace. There's plenty more. If you'd like to find out more for yourself, go to squarespace.com, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Sorelle to get 10% off your first website or domain. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.